Illuminator. It's Capital FM, Limpopo side of frequency, 13 minutes after 8. Welcome to the third hour of the show. It's Property Speaking. Philip Schoolman is a broker and owner of REMAX, joining us in studio this morning for our chats. If there's one thing we should have learned by now from Philip is that you can't afford to be informal when it comes to the property business. So how do you formalize your property rental company? That is a conversation we are getting into up next with Philip.
The 29th of May 2024, you will receive 3 ballot papers. The blue national ballot is for political parties contesting seats in the National Assembly. The orange regional ballot is for political parties and independent candidates who will represent your area in the National Assembly. The pink ballot is for political parties and independent candidates to represent you in your provincial legislature. Vote where you are registered. Visit elections.org.za for more information. It's your democracy. Own it.
Breakfast just wouldn't be the same without complexion, Mpomashita, and of course, you. This is the Capricorn Breakfast on Limpopo's hottest frequency.
Property Speaking this morning, of course, talking with Philip Schoolman. People also, every day, every month, whatever, they would try to start all sorts of business in the property sector. They can look at maybe buying apartments just to rent them out, or maybe go full blown, get into the market, open a proper company and try to do what Philip is doing. And I don't know whether Philip is as confident, as we know him to be, because this morning he's saying, I am going to give you the whole shebang on how you can become my competitor. And he's here with a full smile on his face. We know he's confident. He's not scared. He's like, I will train you to come and compete with me. Good morning, Philip.
But if we're lucky enough that it gives us everything.
No, well, I don't think he'll give us everything. I mean, he's got secrets to the trade and all of that. But just for him to come and give us tips on how you can get into property, that's commendable. Are you well?
Yeah, very. Thanks.
This is a bit of a difficult one because we are literally, in a way, creating competition for you. But surely, is the pie big enough, though?
So, yes and no.
Okay.
The pie is big enough for another non-fly-by-night competitor, another professional.
Okay.
Okay. So, firstly, yes. Yes and no.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I would like to assimilate the rest of the pie.
Obviously.
But obviously, a lot of clients think about this and they want to save money in terms of rental commission.
Mm-hmm.
And they're thinking long term. They're thinking, if I save 500 Rand a month over the space of X amount of years, I'm going to, be better off in some way, shape, or form. But
Yeah.
what people lose out of context is that it's not just that easy. You might be lucky once or twice, but it's like high stakes gambling.
Oh.
You can have a good tenant for 2-3 years and you not have any issues, and then you have one bad tenant, and now you got to spend all this time researching, and you'll spend 20, 30, 40 hours trying to get to the right answer of how you should handle this and to actually affect and handle it.
Sure.
And that's going to take 40 hours out of your life.
Yeah.
Give me 40 hours now.
Sure.
That's another week.
Yeah.
And a week spaced out over the space of 2-3 months. So, it really pans out well for people that want to rent out their own properties, which touches on one of the points.
Okay.
Is that, at which point do you register a real estate company? Or at which point, do you just keep renting your unit yourself?
So at which point do you do that? Is it when you're an agent and you feel like you can bring in the clients?
So that's the thing. I would never suggest, and currently the law has changed with developers. So developers have to now register as property agents as well if they want to sell and rent their own units.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a new law that came in.
Sure.
And a lot of developers are trying it because it makes financial sense, or it looks like it does. But then as soon as they start a real estate company, they see that it's not that easy.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, if you're running a business just to service your own, let me use an example. If I've got a factory that creates butter, I don't want to just produce for Rama. You get what I'm saying? I want to produce for a lot of different brands.
Yes.
Because now I can drop the price, it becomes feasible. I've got a lady, for instance, that goes into the municipality twice a week. She spends the entire day there. Now we handle 30, 40 complaints or issues there. Now you have one property or two. You got to go to the municipality, stand there the whole day,
By
waste your
yourself.
time by yourself. You don't know where to go.
Oh,
You
my
don't have the
goodness.
connections. You get what I'm saying? You're not
Yeah.
a professional at this.
Ah,
Where we went with 30 files, we sorted all of them at once.
sure.
You have 3 properties. You went this week, you got to go again next week for another property. You go again next week for another property. At the end of the day, are you really saving money? You know, and do you? Why would you not enlist the services of a professional? Now, let's say you have 10 properties,
Okay.
and you imagining, listen, now we're talking 500 per property. Now it's $5,000 a month that I'm saving. Is it worth it? And honestly, my personal feeling, and don't quote me on this, but it only starts making sense to have a rental company once you're managing about 50 rentals. Okay.
Okay.
Then I would say start a company. Now, that doesn't exclude you from being licensed before that. You got to be licensed with the PPRA to have your professional indemnity cover. And, you know, well, Cyril has, you know, in the last year or two, he said basically let the market informalize. Let the guys who are not qualified rent out in the informal markets. And to a certain extent, cool, because it doesn't make financial sense for me to drive out to Mankweng to make $200. It's
Okay.
$100 travel and $100 back, you know,
Yeah.
with fuel. So it doesn't make sense to work in Mankweng if I don't have a base there. So
Leave it to the landlord.
that's the thing. So now they if you look at Mankweng, it's a lot like an informal market. There are very few rental agents that are focusing there, that are putting their time and effort in there, because you can't make that kind of money.
Yeah.
And once you realize and start negotiating for rental commissions, clients do ask you the question, what do you do for your commission? And the saving is not necessarily to be seen now. It's sort of see it like insurance.
Yeah, but they don't have a reason to go to the municipality because they're not paying rent anyway.
Yeah, well, that's
Majority.
Majority. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
but I mean, then they, you know, there are just certain issues that, I mean, I've been doing this for 9 years, okay, and I'm still learning. So, at which
And
point
you're everywhere.
you see
I was
what
in
I'm
the
saying?
Eastern Cape and I saw a poster there. I saw a billboard and I was like, Max.
So you get what I'm saying? You will never know everything in this industry. The best thing you can shoot for is to have somebody in your corner that knows, and that knows, has connections, and that knows who the right people is to ask. Because if you are going to be sent on a rabbit trail now, going to find, and you're going to speak to 20 different people, and you're still not going to necessarily have the answer. Whereas if you contacted us, we had a situation like this probably a month ago, and we know how to sort it out. I've got another one now where people have, what do you call it, encroached on the building lines twice.
Oh, okay.
So one house was built like this, and then another one was built like this, and all of them were wrong. So now you've got to demolish 3 houses.
What?
Yes. So again, do you want to risk not having a professional in your corner that does this on a daily basis? I mean, yes, you could doctor yourself at home. I mean, there are books on this, but you still go to the doctor, don't you?
You do.
You don't always follow his advice, do you, either? I mean, it says take 2 and call me in the morning, and sometimes you just don't take the pills because you feel better.
Or sometimes you want 4 because the pain is intense.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
you just want to party.
All right, Philip, thank you so much. I think more than anything, you give us insight into looking into, you're saying that the pie is big for everyone, but still, you know,
Not fly by night.
not fly by night.
Because they just bring detriment to our industry, and there's a
Yeah.
lot of people that are running around informally, giving you the wrong advice and messing up. So in some cases, we're taking on a hot potato. A client will come to us and say, "Yeah, I had this other agent," and we're like, "Okay."
Now you have to start from the beginning.
Basically.
There you have it. Philip Skuman, broker and owner of REMAX.
Thanks, guys.